Hi, everyone. Welcome back to Foundational Healing Week 3 with essential oils, bioavailable supplements, and whole foods. I am Abigail Sapir from Israel, and I am so happy that every one of you has been able to join us today. People like you who are committed to taking charge of their health, empowering themselves and their families and communities. It's such a beautiful way of life. And by now, we understand that the body has a remarkable ability to heal itself when given the right tools, the correct information, and of course, an environment that is supportive to the healing. In our classes here, the goal is to dive deeper into what our bodies need, how to function optimally, and how we can create sustainable, effective health practices that promote wellness inside and out. Throughout this series, we are taking a step-by-step journey to uncover what it truly means to be naturally healthy and how we can achieve this in a way that's practical and long-lasting. So at the end of today's class, I'm going to close the recording and open up the floor for Q&A session. So stay on if you are here in the live class, and feel free to email or contact someone in the team that you know if you are watching the recording. We want to address as many questions as we can. And with that in mind, I do want to clarify again, and I will do this every recording, that we do not claim any food, plant, or medicine can ever cure anything. Even naturally derived medicine. It doesn't cure the imbalances in the body. What nature does is provide the tools and help to create the environment for the body to heal itself using its own remarkable abilities. So if you are experiencing discomfort or dis-ease, it may be a sign of imbalance in your body. And our aim is to help restore that balance through education and, of course, practical solutions. So last week, we discussed detoxing and how our incredible body can handle almost anything as long as it has the capacity to cleanse and detox effectively. This week, we are introducing the beautiful and magical lungs, which help us breathe in that breath of life. Our incredible respiratory system. So it is a system that consists of organ and structures that facilitate the exchange of gases in the body and environment, between the body and the environment. It primarily consists of lungs, airways, and respiratory muscles that work together to bring oxygen into the body while expelling carbon dioxide. And this intricate system plays a crucial role in maintaining the body's overall homeostasis, supporting cellular respiration and ensuring that our tissues can receive the oxygen they need to function effectively. So understanding our respiratory system is essential to grasping how our body sustains life and how it responds to various environmental challenges. I like this chart because it provides a clear visual representation of where the toxins enter the body, and we're going to focus here on the inhalation, how they enter, how they exit, and where they get stored in the body in this very easy to follow mind map. So you see that no matter how toxins get in, and we're talking about lungs today, that it's all connected. Everything ends up in the blood and the lymph system. Everything goes through the liver. Everything that we breathe in also goes through the gastrointestinal tract. Everything that comes into our body goes through the liver, and kidneys and urine, and also through the lungs. So even when we're ingesting a toxin or we get a toxin on our skin and it goes into the blood, everything that can get into the blood and the lymph system also goes through the lungs. And many other organs, soft tissues, bones, fat. So this is where we're storing it. We are storing all of toxins as well in bones, soft tissues, organs, joints, blood, lymph system, muscles, etc. So, do you breathe? Well, yes, we breathe. But let's talk today about what breathing really is and if we are actually having quality of breath. More than anything else, breath is what sustains our life. Regardless of our beliefs about origin of creation, the or no, I mean about creation or origin. I believe in creation, but the first thing that we do when we enter this world as babies is to take a deep breath. And the final act before we leave this world in the physical form is the same. We release our final breath. I don't know if you've ever been there to see a baby take its first breath or a loved one release their last breath. It is a very powerful and magical moment. And we can survive weeks without food, days without water, but only minutes without air. Yet, if we're only breathing shallowly into our throat, trachea, or just the upper lungs, are we really breathing? What does it mean to breathe fully, and why is it one of the most frustrating pieces of advice that we hear? Just breathe. I am breathing. But are we really breathing? When we're anxious and in high emotional state, our quality of breath is greatly reduced. So it is a valid statement to tell someone who is very anxious or upset to just breathe. Why is it irritating? Well, that's another question for another time, maybe. But it definitely has to do with our emotional capacity to be dealing with the situation that we're in right now. Now, we have a couple breathing mechanisms. We have our inhalation and our exhalation. So when we inhale, we are breathing in oxygen, and when we exhale, we're breathing out CO2. Inhalation enriches the blood with oxygen, and exhalation removes toxins. Types of breathing, the ways we can breathe diaphragmically, which is a deep breath. Deep past our chest, deep into where you might say breathe into your stomach. It's actually your diaphragm right below the lungs, versus a shallow breath, which is sometimes just here to here. And you can notice if you start to be aware of your breathing during the day and night, what kind of breathing you mostly have. Notice your breathing when you're feeling anxious or on edge or stressed. Notice your breathing when you're relaxed and feeling easy. Deep breathing increases the oxygen by allowing more air to reach the lungs, and this improves the oxygen exchange in the bloodstream as well, which helps to nourish the body's cells. And the slower, deeper breaths trigger the parasympathetic nervous system. I'm having fun with words today. Now, the interesting thing about that is when someone says, just breathe, that's because they can see that your sympathetic nervous system is heightened and your parasympathetic nervous system needs to be triggered, which deep breathing, slow breathing is one of the tools that you can use to do that, which of course it also promotes relaxation and less stress. So it's never a bad thing to breathe. In fact, if you want to know where you are right now emotionally, just take a very deep breath and let it out slowly. And how that makes you feel, lots of things will come to mind. You might feel like, oh, wow, I'm just like, it's a big sigh. It's a big relief. Oh, I was really anxious there. I need to slow down. It really helps you to be aware of what's going on inside you. So what truly makes the difference between the healing lung function and the weakened diseased lung, or even skin issues linked to poor lung health? Well, there's lots of issues that are linked to poor lung health, and we're going to go over them in a minute. Most of us don't even come close to utilizing our full breathing capacity, and in many ways, this means that we're living only half alive, because shallow, incomplete breathing keeps us from functioning at a high level. We function at a very low rate of physical and mental vibration, a state that impacts people of all ages. And breathing isn't just about survival, it's really about thriving. How we breathe either supports healing and vitality or contributes to stagnation and imbalance in the body. The lungs that I've showed you here in the picture, one half is a healthy lung and one half is a diseased lung. We often see smoking lungs, and this lung looks almost as bad as a smoking lung. This is a pneumonia lung. And so many people in the last years have had so many issues with poor respiratory health and damaged lungs. So we're going to see today what that really does in the body, and of course how we can help the body heal itself. So the physical effects, oxygen is essential for energy production in the cell. So that's one benefit you get from breathing. And your deep, regular breathing supports better organ function. When someone is hysterical or in great pain, they tend to hyperventilate. And what you want to, and that's one of the reasons, like in Lamaze for birthing, you have regular deep breathing, and you have different cadences of that breathing to help have control over the muscles as well as the parasympathetic system. So emotional and mental benefits that we have from breathing: less stress, better concentration, more balanced emotional states, and reduced anxiety and calm. Here's our little baby. And research has shown that in modern civilization, only babies breathe as nature intended, using their full lung capacity. That's a pretty amazing. But all too soon, they adopt the unnatural civilized habit of shallow, low vibration healing. And this pattern really becomes ingrained, limiting our breath and ultimately our vitality. When we engage in shallow, low vibrational breathing, we utilize the top half of our lung, significantly reducing our capacity for breath. And this shallow breathing really deprives the body of the vital oxygen it needs to truly thrive. Breathing profoundly impacts our physical capacities and capabilities. And I don't know if you've seen people drag themselves through life constantly seeking artificial remedies, painkillers, tonics, sleeping pills, chasing illusionary quick fixes instead of addressing the root cause. And one of those root causes is our lack of breath. You can go ahead and take a screenshot of this picture if you want to study it more. And I want to give you our first key word for week 3, and it is breathlessness. So what are some of the defense mechanisms of the respiratory system? Our respiratory system has natural defenses such as mucus and cilia trap and move particles away from the lungs because that too much mucus in the lungs is a breeding ground for bacteria and parasites. And the immune cells in the lungs protect against pathogens that come in. And as we saw before in the chart, they come in through breath, through eating, and through our skin. Coughing and sneezing, another natural response to clear away irritants. So when you have a coughing fit suddenly or a sneezing fit suddenly, it's a sign to you that there is an irritant in your environment that your body needs to get rid of desperately. The best thing you can do in that situation is to change rooms, to go outside and just breathe some deep, clean air. And just check then what's going on and is there anything I can change? And if there's nothing you can change in the environment, a good way to enhance it is to just grab some essential oil, peppermint, breathe, and just clean the air that you're breathing, even if you can only do it for yourself. So Improper normal breathing versus shallow breathing just gives you a little visual here on the screen. Your normal breathing, your deep breathing, slow breathing, regular breathing is getting all the way into the depths of your lungs. Whereas your shallow breathing, you don't even use the bottom half. And so pathogens and bacteria, mucus is going to collect down there and lead to poor posture, oxygen starved, frequently nervous. You can become plagued by unnecessary worries and suffer from a range of physical ailments just because you don't use all of your lungs. The bloodstream as well becomes saturated with harmful carbon dioxide and other toxic waste, which is then transported through the body, suffocating the cells and bringing it right back to the lungs. So rather than rejuvenating them with life-giving oxygen, you're actually just putting more toxic waste back into your body. Our brain, which requires 3 times more oxygen than the rest of our body, is the first to suffer. Dr. Philip Rice states that 55% of delinquent behavior in minors can be attributed to oxygen starvation. That is quite a statement, quite something to look into. Signs that your breathing is shallow or supporting dis-ease in your body. So these conditions on the slide can be influenced by the state of your respiratory health, either directly through oxygen delivery and lung function, or indirectly through its impact on stress, circulation, and overall vitality. So improving your breathing habits can significantly enhance overall health and reduce the likelihood of experiencing these symptoms. If you have any question on how any of these symptoms are impacted by your respiratory health, please feel free to ask. We have lots of information, but we don't want to overwhelm because there's so much to learn. You can take a screenshot of this if you want to keep it and look at it. But our body is always talking to us, and we don't need to be afraid of it. We just need to listen. So here are some reasons why we would want to breathe, because we don't have enough already. We can improve oxygen, reduce stress, improve overall well-being. If that is not ingrained into your brain, I hope it now is. Stress relief, better oxygenation, improved circulation, focused and mental clarity, pain reduction, better sleep, emotional regulation, and respiratory health. So, how can we practice deep breathing? Breathing is interconnected with many different states of mind. And it is believed to be very intertwined with our spiritual state as well, because it's a bridge between the physical and energetical body or spirit. And in many spiritual traditions, breath is seen as more than just a biological function. It's considered a manifestation of the life force. So here are some things that we can do to to cleanse and detox our lungs and improve our breathing. And this is an exercise that you can do. So take a screenshot of that. It's very helpful. You can do this 2 to 3 times a day, minimum. There are just so many plants that we can eat, that we can have in the house, growing, and of course, essential oils that help our body to have better health. And yes, we even need to detox our lungs. Here's an interactive activity, a breathing exercise, another one. This is one that's really good, and what I change it to when you're here and holding your breath. You breathe in slowly through your nose, hold your breath for just a second, and then breathe in a little bit more. Hold your breath for a second and breathe in a little bit more. If you can, more than one time, breathe in more without breathing out, without exhaling. I hope that's understandable. And then breathe out slowly. And you can hold your breath again, breathe out more, hold, breathe out more, hold, and then slowly breathe in again. And if you need a break between this exercise, that's okay. Catch your breath again. The more you do it, the more control you will have, and the less breaks you need before, and you'll be able to immediately go back into breathing in slowly for 4, holding, breathe in more, hold, breathe in more, hold, slowly breathe out, hold, breathe out, hold, breathe out, hold, slowly breathe in, hold, etc. This strengthens the muscles in the lungs. And it really helps. And I like to do this with an essential oil so that as I'm breathing in and holding, we'll touch on this a little bit later, but when you breathe in and hold, it forces the oxygen into the tissue. And so that's why I really like to use essential oils when I do this, so that they're forced by the pressure of the air being held. And then I'm breathing in more. It creates even more pressure. And something that you can do while you're holding the breath, I know this sounds difficult, is to move your body. Twist and move slowly, stretch while you're holding. Breathe in more, stretch more, and you will see a huge difference in this. And physically, if you have an area of pain, you breathe into the area, you hold that breath, and with your mental focus on that area of pain and oxygen going to that area, oxygen is rushing to areas that are in pain and need to be healed when it comes into the body. And so as you hold it in, the body sends it as fast as possible to that area. So that's what it means to breathe into an area. So it's a very powerful experience, and I encourage you to practice and experiment with it. Excuse me. So here's another example. When you're breathing air in, the diaphragm goes up, and no, actually it's the other way around. When you breathe in, the diaphragm relaxes down, because I was just talking about before, I don't know why I got backwards here, upside down. So when you breathe in, your diaphragm goes down, and the oxygen is going to be pushed out of your lungs to the body. When you breathe out, the waste is pushed up, and your diaphragm is pushed up. This is a strong muscle, the diaphragm. And as you practice this, even your singing will be better. So breath, or life force, spirit, it's often referred to, is a vital force that flows through us and is fundamental to maintaining both physical and spiritual health. And breathing deeply and mindfully is said to increase the flow of this energy, support clarity, vitality, and emotional balance. By controlling our breath, we can control the force, which in turn affect physical, mental, and emotional states. So this is what I was referring to before. When we focus the breath, when we control the breath, we can actually control the force of that life flowing through us, especially with intention. And just knowing that when the body has an imbalance somewhere, one of the first things it wants to do is send more oxygen to the area. So you don't have to worry about perfectly focusing on the injured area when you're doing this breathing exercise. When you are holding your breath, holding that oxygen in, and it's forcefully being pushed out into the body, the body is already naturally driving as much oxygen as possible to the injured area or the sick area. We can use breath as a tool for mindfulness and meditation. When we breathe mindfully, we connect more deeply with the present moment. And of course, this is much easier in a beautiful, scenic setting. And it's a good place to start because this is a state of mind we want to be able to access even in the middle of chaos. This picture right here and what you would feel being here, looking at that, breathing in the fresh air and hearing the birds and breathing in the scent of new earth in the morning. This is the feeling that we want to be able to access even in a moment of chaos, even in an environment of chaos. It takes practice, though. We have to practice. Breathing is one of the very psychological or physiological, actually. It's one of the few physiological functions that we can control consciously, which makes it an excellent anchor for meditation, mindfulness, and by focusing on our breath, we calm the mind, reduce stress, cultivate inner peace. And in meditation or prayer, the breath serves as a focal point, bringing us back to the here and now and helping us detach from overthinking, anxiety, mental clutter, allowing us to access a state of stillness and spiritual awareness. Breathing and emotional release. Breathing plays a crucial role in regulating our emotions. Shallow, irregular breathing is often a sign of stress, anxiety, and suppressed emotions. Breathing into the energy of the heart. The act of breathing connects us to the heart, both physically and spiritually. Heart-centered breathing involves focusing on the heart as you breathe, which is believed to strengthen the connection between the mind, body, and spirit. And there are many spiritual practices that focus on breathing into the heart to enhance feelings of love, compassion, and interconnectedness with others. Breathing as a reflection of our own spiritual state. Our breath can be a reflection of our inner state. When we are calm and at peace, our breath tends to be slow, deep, and steady. And conversely, when we're stressed and fearful and disconnected from our spiritual essence, our breath becomes shallow, rapid, and erratic. Breath as life. So breathing and the connection with divine. Breathing can act as a prayer or meditation in itself. And I like to do a meditative exercise where I imagine Hashem breathing into me, like this previous slide when he breathed into Adam, the breath of life. I imagine him breathing into me, the breath of life. As I breathe in, he's breathing out. As he breathes out, I'm breathing in. And just like a baby connected with an umbilical cord, this is a symbiotic relationship. I am part of him and he made me. So while he doesn't need me, he is the living force in me. And as he breathes in, as he breathes out, I breathe in. So as I breathe out, he breathes in. It's an imaging. I don't know how theologically correct it is, but it's an imaging that is very relaxing and very spiritually connective to me. Rabbi Israel Baal Shem Tov, the founder of the Hasidic movement in the 18th century, said, "I was always connected to Hashem by a single golden cord." And I just imagine this as the breath, cord of breath. So, what are we doing to heal our lungs and our respiratory system? We want to breathe air. This is a fun play on words because we have two products in doTERRA for our respiratory system specifically. The first one is Breathe. Breathe is for external use only. So on the skin and in the diffuser, aromatically. And Air X is for internal use, for respiratory health when taken internally. So whenever someone has a respiratory issue, I just tell them to breathe air. Breathing in the season. So for the breathe oil, we want to diffuse at home and at work if anybody will let us. The smell is so amazing, most people will not say no. It supports less allergy-related discomfort and increases mental clarity and focus. And if anyone ever has trouble with pollen, with breathe, they can just breathe. Okay, I like play on words. I'm sorry. The breathe oil helps to reduce discomfort caused by airborne allergens. It's a natural decongestant, anti-inflammatory, opens the sinuses, reduces inflammation in the respiratory system. Topically and aromatically, it eases symptoms like nasal congestion, sneezing, itchy eyes, and it provides a cooling effect on temples, neck, and chest. AirX, which we take internally, supports respiratory health by opening airways and promoting easier breathing. The blend contains cardamom, peppermint, and lemon, which work together to clear nasal passages, soothe irritated airways, reduce congestion, make breathing more comfortable and natural. So basically, all the things that the topically applied oil or diffused oil does, but just from the internal perspective. So it's good to address the issue from externally and internally when possible. Environmental relief, airborne irritants, seasonal changes. It purifies the air, promotes cleaner, fresher environment. How do you use this? You can put it on a mask if you feel like you're contagious, or if you feel like the environment around you is so bad that just having it in the air isn't good enough, or you can't do that. So you can wear a mask. I would wear a cloth mask, not a commercially produced one. And I put a few drops of essential oil onto it if the environment is really bad. If you're just like when I'm on the plane, the air always has made me sick until I found doTERRA essential oils. And I just put 1 or 2 drops on. And then I can sleep well. And you want to you want to add more drops. It depends on how bad the air is. But 30 minutes to an hour, something like that. If you don't have a mask and you're just putting some right under your nose, that will purify the air for about 15 minutes. So that's why don't you really use it on planes, because I went to sleep for many hours and not just 15 minutes. So obviously this works when you have it on your chest, you're breathing in the fumes, and of course in the diffuser. Now, a good healthy respiratory system also helps us sleep better. So the breathe oil also supports a restful sleep by promoting easier breathing, reduced congestion, etc. And the calming oils that are mixed in with it also help to relax the mind and body and create an atmosphere conducive to peaceful, uninterrupted sleep. That sounds wonderful, right? Spiritual breath. The breathe and air oils promote clarity, release negative energy, purify and balance the mind and emotions. Of course, this is going to affect us spiritually. They help to clear emotional blockages, foster positive energy, provide protection and purification, enhance creativity and emotional release. And together, these oils support spiritual growth, grounding mental clarity by helping to open the heart and mind, increase awareness, and align one's energy for healing and personal insight. How wonderful. Tri-Ease soft gels, another brilliant trinity of oils, lavender, peppermint, and lemon. Did I say that right? Yeah. Lavender, peppermint, lemon. These are the 3 oils in Tri-Ease. If you do not have them in the soft gels, you can just put them into a capsule yourself with the oil. 3 drops of each. Take 1 to 2 capsules or soft gels per day as needed. These are excellent for any seasonal irritations that you might have. Here is another, I think we've mentioned all of these already, these oils. So you can just see the bottles. I love cardamom. Cardamom helps so much. It's definitely worth having on hand. But the first thing we want to do is to have our Lifelong Vitality Pack. There's nothing on the market that compares. Most of the nutritional deficiency in the body lead to low immunity and increased toxins that cause disease and infection, and our immune system, which is directly interconnected with our respiratory system, needs a good dose of micronutrients, and all the immune cells that are in the lungs need this dose of micronutrients like iron, folic acid, vitamins A, B, C, D, E, and K, along with copper and more. Add seasonal fruit, plant milk, sparingly. Homemade is the best. Nuts and dairy, not cow dairy, to your daily diet would help to supply the nutrition needed in the body. Low levels of vitamin D are one of the main causes of a failing immunity, of a falling immunity level. But emotionally and mentally, one of the leading causes of an immunocompromised system is extreme emotions. An aggressive conversation, an argument, an extreme emotion, positive or negative, the body doesn't recognize the happiness of extreme. A good example of that would be bipolar. When you're, what's the word? Manic. That's an extreme positive emotion. And that every few minutes of those emotions leave you immunocompromised for 3 to 4 hours. So for effective toxic removal, it's very important to increase the levels of vitamin D, as well as to find balance in the body through deep breathing and supporting that parasympathetic system. And of course, you want to get a lot of sun, and the right kind of sun. We talked about that last week. And so the doTERRA oil-infused supplements are designed with our health concerns in mind. And our supplements represent cutting-edge scientific development and an optimal way to incorporate the internal use of essential oils as well. So here are some more oils for a lung detox and why. So that could be very helpful for you. Tea tree, cinnamon, bergamot, cypress, thyme, oregano, frankincense, peppermint, rosemary, eucalyptus. Take a screenshot of this or a picture, or re-watch the video recording. Here are some suggested DIYs for using the essential oils in your everyday life. You can put them in your shake. You can put them in a spray bottle and spritz them in the air to help clean the air if you don't want to have a diffuser all the time. You can put them in creams. You can make, creams for the chest, for the lungs, and you can put them in your body lotion. Putting breathe and air into your body lotion is a really wonderful thing in the summertime. Or you could just use peppermint, which is also, obviously peppermint is in all of these blends as well, respiratory blends, and it creates a cooling effect on the body as well. So that's really fun. You can put them in your drinks, in your shakes, in a glass of water, and of course in the diffuser. The most effective way cost-effective way, at least, of self-care is the ability to make products yourself. So don't be afraid to try new things, and remember that the time you invest in yourself will have beneficial payouts in the long term. So thank you everyone for joining me for week 3 of Foundational Healing, and I look forward to seeing you next week. If you have any questions, email them to me. Stay on for the Q&A afterward, and we will get back to you with the answers. And I wish you all a wonderful day in vibrant health. Please don't forget, for everyone in Israel, you are invited to our Hanukkah party in Jerusalem. Light the last candle of Hanukkah together on January 1st at 4 o'clock at the Cloud Building. Register with your team leader, and don't forget our YouTube training. At DO_naturally rooted. Our team is called Naturally Rooted, if you didn't remember. And we have an extensive availability of a training and educational and interesting videos there for all of your wellness journey, for men, women, children, business in the wellness industry, etc. No, they're not all from us, but we collect them and we put them into playlists for your education and use. Sorry, I just blanked out there for a second. I also realized that I forgot to say the other keywords for the certification course. So we're doing it at the end of the video, which is a bit too easy, but that's okay. So the first word was breathlessness, and the second key phrase was interactive breathing, and the third key phrase is breathe air. Okay, so breathlessness, interactive breathing, breathe air. And next week, join us for blood and liver. Next time, I'm not sure if it's going to be next week. We've got holidays coming up here. So next time, join us for week 4 of the course, blood and liver. Thank you so much. Enjoy, everyone. And don't forget to breathe air.